There are certain details people fail to notice about their own homes. Not because they are invisible, but because the human brain is remarkably skilled at ignoring things that shouldn't exist. This story did not begin with fear. It began with routine. A small apartment. A quiet building. Nothing unusual. Nothing memorable. The kind of place where days blur together and nights feel predictable. For weeks, everything remained perfectly normal, until one subtle inconsistency appeared. Every night, after midnight, a faint sound echoed from the hallway. Not footsteps, not voices, just the soft, unmistakable click of a door closing. The resident initially dismissed it. Old buildings make sounds, pipes shift, wood contracts, perfectly logical explanations, except for one inconvenient detail. There were only 2 doors in the apartment. The entrance and the bedroom. No tiered door. No hidden room. Nothing that could produce that sound. Night after night, the same click. Always after midnight, always when the apartment was completely still. Curiosity eventually replaced indifference. One night, the resident remained awake. Lights off, room silent, clock ticking loudly against the darkness. And then the sound clicked. Click, clear, close. Coming from the hallway, a slow, uneasy walk toward the source, eyes adjusting to the dim light leaking through the entrance. Everything looked normal until the resident stopped. Because the hallway was no longer the same. On the left wall stood a door that had never been there before. Dark wood, unfamiliar handle, perfectly aligned with the wall, as though it had always belonged. The resident froze. Confusion overpowering fear. Memory insisted the wall had always been blank, bare, empty. Yet the door looked aged, worn, real. Slowly, almost instinctively, the resident reached for the handle. Cold, unnaturally cold, before contact could fully register. Another sound emerged. From the other side, a soft movement. Then breathing, slow, steady, impossible. The resident stepped back, heart-racing mind, scrambling for logic. Perhaps it had always been there. Perhaps it had simply gone unnoticed. Perhaps the door creaked open. On its own, only darkness waited inside. Not the absence of light, but a thickness, a depth that felt wrong, as though the space extended far beyond the physical limits of the apartment. And from within that darkness, a voice spoke. Calman familia, you finally noticed. The resident could not move, because the voice was unmistakable. It was their own, identical in tone, identical in cadence, yet coming from somewhere impossible. The darkness shifted, a silhouette forming slowly, not approaching. Already standing there, a perfect duplicate. Same face, same posture, same expression, except for one terrifying difference. The duplicate was smiling. I was wondering how long you'd ignore me. The hallway lights flickered violently. For a fraction of a second, reality fractured, and when illumination stabilized, the door was gone. The wall blank, empty, as it had always been. Morning brought fragile comfort, rationalization, fatigue, stress, hallucination, until the resident noticed something that destroyed every logical explanation. Inside the apartment, an extra set of footprints marked the hallway floor, leading from the blank wall, directly into the bedroom and stopping beside the bed, exactly where someone would stand, watching, waiting. That night, the resident did not sleep, because sometimes, just before midnight, a faint sound could be heard. Not from the hallway, but from inside the bedroom. A soft, deliberate click, as if a door was slowly closing.